Welcome to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting and give you my opinion on them. Stories like Google TV is coming out with a new user interface, some minor tweaks here that kind of change how it looks and how it works. We'll break down what you need to know. DirecTV suffered a massive outage recently, resulting in service for many customers not working. It was because of a satellite. We'll tell you what's happening, and one of those reasons is probably why they're trying to push people to streaming. And lastly, before we get into all the other stories, Tubi has some new logo, but more importantly, a refreshed look of their apps. We'll tell you what you need to know when this is coming to your device and more. These stories and more coming up real quick, but first, if you want to find out more about these stories, I'll put a link to them all in the first pinned comment and in the show notes. You can find them for yourself there, and let me know what you think. If you're new here, do me a big favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, it really does help us. All right, let's dive into the news. Starting off with Google TVs are receiving a new update that's changing the way they look. Now, this was actually announced last November when Google warned this was coming. Now, part of this is just minor graphical things like on the app screen, instead of square-ish icons are now rounded icons. Not a big deal there, but it does make them more look like the Android icons you see on Android phones. But some of the other big ones include minor fixes, bug improvements, and a new section in your apps that bring you to all the free channels. Now, Google TVs have been adding hundreds of free channels in partnership with many free streaming services out there to kind of compile all their free channels into a single guide on the Google TV. It's a really cool feature. So instead of jumping into different apps to see which streaming channels they have, you just look at this guide that Google TV has, and there's, I think, upwards of 800 free channels are included with it, which is a really nice number here. Now it's much easier to find that, to jump to it, and have them all in one spot. Once you select a channel, it will launch you into whatever app that one is being provided by. Now, Google announced other partnerships here coming in the future, but when that launched, it was like Tubi, Plex, and Haystack News to offer over 800 channels once they're all live. I love that feature. Now, there's a whole bunch of minor bug fixes and behind-the-scenes stuff, probably stuff that we don't even know about, hasn't been really announced, that will pop up in the weeks to come that people notice. But this Google TV update is slowly rolling out. You can't force it to come early. When it's ready, it'll become available on your device. And I believe it's coming out to Google Chromecast with Google TV devices first. All right. DirecTV customers suffered many hours without their HD channels. This was caused by a DirecTV satellite getting out of position in orbit. Now, DirecTV was able to get it back in position. It'd be interesting if that had any long-term impacts on the future of the satellite. They have a limited amount of fuel. If they had to burn a bunch of fuel to get it back in position, that could limit it. That's speculation. That's just educated speculation. We'll see if there's any long-term impacts from this. But during that, DirecTV heavily pushed its customers to log in to stream their channels online as part of their DirecTV subscription. DirecTV's heavily, instead of pushing satellite service, it's pushing its new, what they call DirecTV via internet. And this is basically DirecTV satellite with all the catches and terms and conditions, but streaming online. Very different than DirecTV Stream, which is what they call bring your own device now. With DirecTV Stream, you don't buy or rent, I should say, one of their DirecTV streaming players. Instead, you get DirecTV Stream and you can watch it through Roku, Fire TV, and others. Now, DirecTV via internet customers can use Roku's and other devices, but they do get a DirecTV Stream box with this. I suspect that this is one more push for them to get away from satellites. Satellites are very expensive. Quite a few years. This is subject to change because that CEO is long gone. AT&T's CEO back in like 2018, 2019 kind of range got up and basically said, hey, we want to be done launching satellites. They're expensive. They're hard to maintain. When they break, they're gone. We have to replace the whole thing. And he wanted to move towards streaming. Seems like one more step in that direction. Now with a new CEO, it's very possible they still do launch satellites into space, but kind of have to wonder for how long that will continue. With SpaceX and Amazon Satellite Home Internet bringing internet to pretty much everybody, that'll be more than capable to stream things like YouTube TV, DirecTV Stream, and others. So we'll keep a very close eye on this, but unfortunately, if you don't have any internet, you're kind of out of luck during this outage. DirecTV did successfully get it back into position, and DirecTV service has returned to normal for affected customers. All right, if you're a fan of Tubi, the 100% free ad-supported streaming service owned by Fox, not Disney. I saw a lot of people saying, well, Disney owns all of Fox. Not true. So Fox is still a company. They still own their Fox Locals, Fox Sports, Fox News, and Tubi as one of the things they own. Well, with this partnership, Disney, when they bought a bunch of Fox, they got the studios, basically, the stuff that make the shows. But with this deal, Tubi has announced a new app and logo. Now, this is more of a purple logo. I know a lot of people have compared it to the Amazon Freevee logo. You can see the resemblance there is very similar. But Tubi now is pushing into this rabbit hole idea, pricing their commercials, that they just have this huge rabbit hole of movies and television shows that you can fall into and get lost in. So much content there. Now, their app is also going from like a black background to more of a purple background. I honestly think it makes it a little bit easier to read, in my personal opinion. I think the big change here is the newly slightly altered app is a big improvement over the older one. I think for most people, the logo won't make a big difference for them. But Fox is investing heavily into the marketing of Tubi, and the new app is a big part of that. Let me know, have you seen the new app? You can see it in our story down below and the new logo. Let me know what you think. All right, deal of the day. Amazon has certified refurbished Fire TV sticks starting at just $26.99. A lot of people hear refurbished and freak out. These are certified. Amazon backs them up with a warranty. They are last year's model, the previous year's model, I should say. And they start at $26 for the HD, $29.99 on all this, $29.99 for the 4K. The real deal here may be the Fire TV Stick 4K Max at $39.99. I know sometimes the newer one is even cheaper than that if you get a sale, if you're willing to wait for that. But if you're not, it's a pretty powerful streaming player at a good price here for all this. Maybe you just need one for the kids' room, $29.99 for the 4K one. Not a bad deal. I'll put a link to that in the show notes down below. You can find it there if you want to find the current deal. But that's my deal of the day. All right, Roku and NBC Universal have teamed up to add shorts to the Roku channel. Now with this, Roku is getting shorts from The Jimmy Fallon Show, Saturday Night Live, and a Late Night with Seth Meyers. Right now, you'll find shorts immediately being added to the Roku channel. In the weeks to come, NBC Sports content, the shorts from there, will appear. Shorts are becoming wildly popular, and it seems like the Roku channel doesn't want to be left out of that. They now have a partnership with NBC Universal. Be interested to see if this comes to more and more content. We're going to start seeing previews and clips from major television shows. We'll see. But for now, the Roku channel is continuing to grow its lineup of content, and this time by partnering with NBC Universal. Already, NBC Universal has a bunch of their live 24/7 channels on the Roku channel. You can find them there. Speaking of NBC Universal, Pluto TV just added 2 new NBC Universal channels. This is part of a bunch of channels that were announced earlier this year that NBC will be bringing a ton of channels to Pluto TV. The new ones include Golf Pass, which is 24/7 content all related to golf, and Universal Action, which includes things like Knight Rider, Magnum PI, the A-Team, and more, all streaming for free on Pluto TV 24/7. Now, in the recent weeks, we've seen NBC Sports get joined to Pluto TV, Murder, She Wrote, Little House on the Prairie, and a whole bunch of other channels being added over the last month or so, which includes other non-NBC content like BBC Earth, BET Pluto TV, BET Her, Bounce XL, and a whole bunch of others, just to name a few. Full list in the show notes down below. But Pluto TV, the Roku channel, these free ad-supported services, Freevee, Tubi, the list goes on and on, are really good. If you remember them being nothing but bad B movies of the past, you should give them another try. They've greatly improved the quality of their content. All right, last story up of the day. YouTube has announced that come this summer, in July, they're going to shut down the YouTube for Kids app on TVs. Now, don't worry, you're still going to be able to watch YouTube Kids content on TVs. I know I prefer my kids to watch their television or their YouTube stuff on TV because then I can see what they're watching. But YouTube Kids is going to shut down the app, and instead, you'll have to create a YouTube Kids profile, log into the YouTube account on your TV, and in there, it will act just like the YouTube Kids app, but limiting their content. But it's no longer a separate app. It's now built through the YouTube app. Some people may not like this because your kids are probably smart enough to get out of that and go to maybe your profile to watch stuff that are not including YouTube Kids, where if you uninstall the YouTube app from many streaming players, you can install the YouTube Kid ones. Now, good news here though, for mobile devices, the YouTube Kids app will continue on iOS, Android, iPads, tablets, and the like with no change. But that change again will happen in July. As we get closer to it and we're learning an exact shutdown date, we'll post updates about this story. All right, question of the day. Now, I get a lot of questions. I try to answer some in the comments, but I answer a few here at the Cord Cutting Today videos at the end. If you have a question for me, start your comment off on this video with something like a question for Luke, so I know it's a question you want me to answer. If I don't answer your question, please feel free to re-ask it the next day. Sometimes I just miss them when I get busy. But today's question is, Luke, it seems like more and more folks are watching their news from streaming services and websites online. Is this having a major impact on cable television? Just kind of sum that question up there. Yes, and that's a big problem. Increasingly, news was one of the few things people continued to pay for cable television with. It was news and sports. Those were the two main things that people, when they were asked why they continued to pay for cable television, said were main reasons. Well, increasingly, news coverage, no matter if it's MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, people are moving away from that and going to online options. And that's why we see some things going behind paywalls. Peacock for a while offered some MSNBC content for free. Well, they shut that down to try to drive people back to watching it through a paid service like cable or YouTube TV and the like. Now, sports still keeps people subscribed. We'll see. We have a major sports venture coming out this fall. As people shift away to YouTube, for example, to watch the news, reading it online, apps, and a whole host of other ways to get news for free live as it happens, you can see why cable companies are very nervous about this sports one, because if sports suddenly becomes easy to access without cable television, you know they're in big trouble. We'll keep a very close eye on this, but question for you. Have you watched less cable news? Have you found yourself moving to online sources like this and other places to get news? Let me know. Well, that's it for today. I hope you have a fantastic day. If you have a question for me, I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Be safe. Have a fantastic day, everybody.